Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP, the king of bada bing, the master of the diamond cutter, the three-time world champion. And you, monkey, well, you're listening to WNS. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Bang!
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I am Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 163 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Okay, we have a new order, which I got to do now. So, okay, if you want to find us on Stitcher, Google. Oh, dude, you can find us everywhere. Yeah, I also Googled myself too. Okay. Stitcher, you can find us on Stitcher at Wrestling News Source Podcast. Beyond Pod, type in the same thing, Wrestling News Source Podcast. And
you can just say, you can find us on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, Player.fm. By searching.
I can't talk today, okay? By searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. Sorry to confuse everybody.
On Twitter, you can find us at WNS Podcast. The main site's at WN Source. We got Daniel at WNS_Daniel and Tyler's at Tyler_Abear. I am not currently a Twitter user.
Oh.
Also, the joke is
Tyler
Abear.
Google myself Abear.
I did, and I put Tyler Abear WNS Podcast and see what came up. We found out a lot of other websites that featured us on their podcast, and we didn't even know about it. And I was like,
kind of strange.
Yeah.
Where are all these people showing up, listening to our shows? We don't even know who you are, but we certainly appreciate it. For those of you who are new to our show, we certainly welcome you. We appreciate you checking us out. If you get the chance, leave us a review on Stitcher or iTunes. Give us, you may be
able to leave a review on Beyond Pod. We're not for sure.
It helps the algorithm, people.
Yes, it does. Helps us get seen out there. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about. Got some feedback, Raw, Elimination Chamber predictions, hot topics, Q&A, and whatever kind of jokes we want to talk about there.
But first, I want to say, I know you thought that I was going to say, but first, how you guys doing? But that's not.
How you guys doing?
It's not what I was going to say.
Oh.
I was going to say that today is the birthday of the late great Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney.
Yeah.
So go watch some YouTube clips or some old DVDs of Sweeney because he was awesome and we should all remember him.
How do you like it?
Not the anniversary of his death, not to be confused with that, but it is his birthday.
Although that was
April 11th.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're pretty close to one another.
They are pretty close.
Yeah,
but he went way too young and he was way too talented and
he's missed. Man.
Yeah,
just very, very talented. And
Sweet and sour.
It's just really cool that I don't know how the hell they got him down here, but like for local promotion got him down here, and it was just really cool to see him.
Yeah. Very cool stuff. So welcome to the show. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. How you guys doing? Doing all right?
I got food in my belly.
You got food in your belly. Very good stuff. How are the wedding preparations going so far?
We're slowly getting into it. I don't know about Doug's, but
yeah, Doug, how's yours going?
Wonderful.
Yeah. All right, we can't wait.
Couldn't be better.
Have y'all picked a place yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to meet this lady. I still haven't seen anything. No pictures, no anything. You're a very secretive life.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. The wedding's gonna happen, and you will know at the last minute where to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, as long as I have a date, that's fine.
It's here. Show up now.
Yeah, It's April 18th,
2015.
2015.
How are you gonna go to both of ours?
Well,
got the date. Save the date.
I'm gonna hope that one is in the morning and one is in the afternoon/evening. So,
Okay.
you know,
We're gonna go simultaneously, and we're gonna expect you to pick who you like better.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, how are you gonna be in Tyler's wedding as a groomsman? You got to think about that.
Clone himself.
Yeah.
Might have to have separate times.
I don't know. I'll think of something.
Oh, okay. Have to
Okay, this is an awful joke.
have to rework everything. You know what? Just cancel the wedding.
I'm canceling this bad joke.
You're too
Canceling
good.
this bad
You're
joke.
too good for her.
We're not running with this,
Doug
this
is not
terrible
getting
joke
married.
anymore. No one is laughing.
I'm laughing.
I don't think it's funny either.
I think it's pretty funny.
Carrying on.
It's just your delivery is so very well.
Well, apparently we got.
You have pretty good timing.
No, I don't.
You do. You have natural timing. It's good.
Hmm.
Your delivery is very good.
No one's ever told me that before.
Well, I'm telling you that.
Wow.
So, welcome to the show for the third time. So, diving on into some feedback. We're going to kick things off with some of our YouTube comments. The first one's coming to us, I believe, from Neon 2 Ghost 1. Either it's Neon 11 or Neon II Ghost 1. Saying, been watching 10 episodes. First comment with the CM Punk situation. I believe Jeff and Matt Hardy made CM Punk. Without the rivalry, Punk would never become the star he was, and this situation would never have happened. So blame Jeff Hardy for it. Yes, I'm a Jeff and Matt Hardy fan, so my last comment may have been biased. So, interesting thoughts on that.
I mean,
Is he saying that he thinks that Jeff and them made him in WWE?
Yeah, I think made him the star, or put him on the course.
I have to
of being
think
that.
of the time period. I mean, I don't necessarily think that was it, but I mean, I don't know what's the feuds and stuff he also had before that, but I don't think that Jeff and Matt put him on.
it was
there.
sort of his first.
Was that one of his first?
It was sort of his first big main event feud, like his like a showcase feud. It
I
was
thought
when
Mysterio
he
was before that. No, Mysterio's afterwards.
It was after.
It was after.
Oh, okay, man. I'm lost on the timeline.
A lot of this really laid the ground. A lot of his stuff, his feud with Jeff Hardy, kind of laid the groundwork for the Straight Edge Society. It was a lot of
okay.
It was a lot of coming off the Hardy drug stuff, and he was doing the "I'm better
I
than you."
agree now. I was kind of lost on the timeline, and I was like, I don't think so, but I didn't.
Well, I disagree. Like I don't have any problem saying that you felt like that was his first like important work, because
That
it
was the catalyst moment.
I don't have a problem with you singling out that moment that you thought things really clicked for him, but I think it's a far stretch to say by that, you know, Punk would have never gotten over if it wasn't for Jeff Hardy. I mean,
It's a stretch.
I think it's a stretch. I mean, like, he's as critical as I can be of CM Punk. I do have a lot of respect for him, and I think he's actually really talented, and I have a hard time believing that he wouldn't have found another way to get over if it wasn't for Hardy.
Especially with how much his character evolved over the past few years. Like, he had the feud with Jeff Hardy. He was in the Straight Edge Society. He was in the Nexus. He went on his own as a heel. He went on his own as a face. He went back to heel, back to face. You know, and every time that he did it, he evolved his character, whether it be his look or the lines that he was delivering. You know, whether it was I'm straight edge and I'm better than you, or I'm best in the world 434 days, or, you know, crowd pleasing, pipe bomb dropping, whatever. You know, eventually he would have gotten to that point. You know, the straight edge going up against the person who had been busted for drugs on, you know, multiple occasions. Yeah, that was a great starting point for his Straight Edge Society. But I feel like it could have happened eventually as well.
Yeah, I mean, I take I have no problem with you saying that you think that was his first work of importance. Like, I'm fine with that. And I probably even agree with that as far as the WWE goes, but I certainly felt like he would have got there anyway, whether the Hardys were there or not.
How about you, Tyler?
I think I agree with Doug. You know, that did help him, all that stuff. But like I'm now getting, I guess, like I said, the timeline in order, and I couldn't think what was before that.
Get your facts, son.
I know was that.
That was whenever he cashed in
ECW. How long was he in ECW?
Well, this was it was
This is post ECW.
yeah. This was whenever he was on SmackDown, and he cashed in the Money in the Bank for the second time. He cashed it in on Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
but it was definitely a stepping stone in his rise. But thank you for the feedback. We do appreciate it. Next one's coming to us from Sublethal 4 saying, a long episode and no video camera? Awesome. Sorry, guys. I just really dislike the video camera feature. So,
Well,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
You don't.
It was just us testing it out, getting ready for WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
I take issue.
Oh.
I don't know why. I'm just taking issue.
Oh, okay. Are you offended that someone didn't want to see you?
Well, look, I know I'm not a good-looking dude or anything. I'm just saying, like, I don't know why you would have a reason to actively
were you
dislike
annoyed about me playing to the camera the whole time?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Like, we were put off by it because we realized how it kind of throws us off our game and how we need extra people and how it's extra work. But why would you as a listener be thrown off by it? I don't understand. Unless you just think we're ugly, which is fine, but keep that to yourself, bro.
Or listen to us on Stitcher or iTunes or Podbean or Player.fm.
Just like Stino. I just want to listen to it, not watch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, it's cool. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're not going to do it, very often. Only for like special
we'll do
occasions.
it coming up a little bit when Ben gets here before the
we'll do it for our WrestleMania
Yeah.
predictions. We might do it here or there, but it's not going to be
It's
one of
just
those.
for testing the camera out. So.
Yeah, we were mostly just testing it out because we want to see how it responds for our trip to Nowlands. But thank you for the feedback. We do appreciate it. Next feedback we have is from Billy from Facebook saying, I can't comment on the YouTube vid because I have a YouTube page and not a profile or whatever. But I enjoyed watching you guys your video podcast last week. I'm a new listener to your show, so it was great to have some faces to match up with the voices. Looking forward to this one too. Keep up the good work. So thank you very much. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Billy.
And thanks for checking us out.
Yeah. Thanks for, like I said, you're a new listener. Thanks for, leaving a comment and saying you're a new listener. And
Yeah,
it's cool.
and
we like to hear from new people as well as our usual listeners.
definitely.
Plus, we can put Billy on this side of the scale to weigh out, to at least equal out with Sublethal 4. He's like, I don't want to see your ugly
For every
asses.
dislike, we got a like. So.
Billy's like, I'm okay with seeing your ugly asses. So it evens out.
Those
Yeah,
ugly
we're
mugs.
ugly.
The back of my head. So, whatevs. But anyway, it's time to go on to the go-home show for Raw before Elimination Chamber taking place this Sunday. Kick things off with John Cena coming out, getting interrupted by not Antonio Cesaro, just Cesaro, who gets interrupted by Sheamus, who gets interrupted by Christian, who ends up getting interrupted by Orton, who ends up getting interrupted by Daniel Bryan, who ends up getting interrupted by Kane, all talking about the Elimination Chamber, which was great because, they're building importance to it. They're putting a reason for you to be watching the pay-per-view behind
That's
it now.
what they should do.
Yes, that's what they should do for every pay-per-view. Have importance, have meaning, have a reason for you to tune in, not just have them go out there and be like, all right, well, I'll see you on Sunday. I hope you buy the pay-per-view. Thanks. So, other than that, the segment itself was, sort of just a, copy and paste of past segments that you could see for events such as this or the Royal Rumble. No one really got a big point across other than Kane, who came out and booked matches.
Because the authority wasn't there.
The authority wasn't there, but Triple H was backstage later on, so that was a little continuity error or something. But anywho, or maybe he didn't know they were backstage. But anything really to take away from this? I found it interesting. One comment that Christian said to Sheamus was whenever he was like, I know last week on SmackDown you gave me a bro kick. It wasn't intentional. It was an accident. It's fine. And then later on in the night, I think it was Lawler who mentioned, oh, well, Sheamus delivered that bro kick to Christian, and I don't think he thought it was an accident. So just kind of a memory slip, I guess, there. But anywho, but that does set up for the very first matchup: Daniel Bryan versus Christian. These guys went and put on a pretty good show. Mostly focusing on Daniel Bryan's arm to try and prevent the yes lock. And what did you guys think about the matchup?
didn't get to see that one, but I came in and I saw the Daniel Bryan versus Kane there.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, Doug?
I thought it was good and smartly worked. It's basically just built around Bryan selling the arm, Christian working on the arm, and he got the roll up for the win, which I saw. I guess some people like bitching about him not looking strong by not beating like Christian with a finisher or putting away like with like I guess more definitively.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no problem with it. I thought the finish was fine, and I thought it was kind of smart, like to turn Christian here, or at the very least, you know he's going to get booed against Bryan.
Yeah.
So they had him work heel. He jumped him
Definitely.
before the bell worked, so that was smart to go ahead and play into it. If not, if it wasn't, even if it wasn't like a full turn, that was good. But it kind of like stands to reason that he should full turn, because you don't want the baby faces to have like I hate matches that have the baby faces have the numbers advantage.
Yeah.
And at least this would put him like 3 heels and 3 baby faces
Right.
in the chamber. So I think
Instead
it makes
of
a
a
lot
4-2.
right. You never. I get a lot of people say that face heel dynamics don't matter anymore, and so there's reports that that's even coming from the WWE themselves these days. But to me, it really matters, and I really don't want to see a match where the baby faces have the advantage. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
You want to see those guys overcome the odds. So at the very least, they could even it up with a Christian turn.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, they still have SmackDown to play into that a little bit, so we'll have to see how those results turn out. But Daniel Bryan does end up defeating Christian, which brings it to the next matchup where Kane says, you know, that was a hard fart battle, but unfortunately you're not done for the night because your next matchup is against me. And so Kane got into the ring and just started going at him, and you know, this match ended up in a disqualification after Kane was pulling on Bryan on the ring post and refusing to let go, getting the count of 5, and grabbing the mic saying, "Yeah, I know, I'm disqualified, and I just don't care," something like that. So, what about this matchup?
It was fine. I mean, there's not a lot to speak of because it was basically just a continuation of Bryan selling the arm, Kane working the arm.
Yeah.
They didn't. Excuse me. They got the DQ finish, which was fine. I think mostly it's. I think the thing they kind of take away from it is like they're trying to learn to like crowd control. So they're like, this crowd's gonna shit on anything we do until Bryan comes out here. We're gonna put Bryan out first. We're gonna put him out there for 2 matches in a row. We're gonna give him a good long time.
Yeah.
Tell him to shut the fuck up.
But if you notice that during that match for a little bit, they chanted "This is boring." They still chanted that during Daniel Bryan Kane match. I was like, really? Did y'all hear that? It was for a little bit. And I was like, you really gonna do that? They're giving you Daniel Bryan.
Well,
I don't recall that, but I mean, I'm sure you're right. I just don't recall
well,
it.
this was also the same crowd that was chanting JBL, and JBL not even acknowledging them. So,
So that's even proves, even with Daniel Bryan out there, even if they don't like Kane that much, if Daniel Bryan's out there, because that's when Kane was beating up on him more. Kane. And
I mean, I know they were chanting "You sold out" a lot at him.
Yeah, I heard that.
But
they said it was only like, I heard it though, it was like 3 or 4 times and they stopped. But I was like, really?
Really wish they would like do more to acknowledge their past as a team,
yeah,
because I think you could. They're obviously. I think it's pretty clear to anyone paying attention that Daniel Bryan has inherited like Punk's like Kane feud.
mm-hmm.
So, like, I think people would be more interested if they would play up like their past together, right? Like,
yeah. They had that one mention
right.
when Kane first started doing his corporate position, but other than that, they ignored
I'm
it.
surprised they were like, what? Like randomly they would say, or King or would say, I wonder what Dr. Shelby would think or something.
But still, I mean, like, they could play it up more and like act like these guys. Even like a couple of off the cuff like comments like that, I don't think really registers.
Dr.
You know?
Shelby's a quack. He got it all wrong all these years. Yeah. Anywho, but I think it's kind of a foreshadowing thing to try and take Daniel Bryan out of the picture for Elimination Chamber as a potential winner. You know, because they're going to focus on the arm. Everyone's going to focus on the arm during the chamber match. They're gonna, oh, he still hasn't recovered from that, and and that's going to cause him to lose, I think, in a sense. You guys get that feeling?
I feel like some shenanigans that, Kane's going to get involved or something.
I hope not.
I hope not either.
I wouldn't be surprised to not see him win, but I don't necessarily know that they were going to use the arm or not. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. I didn't get that feeling like immediately. But to me, it was just like another way of Bryan working an awesome match. Like because
even at the end of the night, whenever he came out during the main brawl, his arm was all taped up. It's all wrapped up.
That's just because Bryan is really great at selling.
Yeah.
No, seriously though, his whole match, he didn't his running elbow that he does. He didn't use the fucking hurt arm to do it. He sells, he knows how to fucking sell, and people, better than anybody in the company, hands down. And people are gonna say Ziggler again, but Ziggler, bumping is not selling. Bumping is the act of taking a move. Selling is the act of communicating the hurt of the move. You know what I mean? It's a different thing.
What did you think of the time where he was holding his arm, but Kane was on his knees and he was kicking him, but he would still use it, but then he would still grab his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said many times that I don't believe that you necessarily can't use an injured or a sold body part that you're
Push
selling
through the pain.
But you have to, communicate.
Grimace.
He did the yes one-handed. It was. I found it compelling. I'd rather see Bryan work a match where it's basically him selling the whole time and getting a roll-up win than almost anybody.
Yeah. So, but Daniel Bryan does end up defeating Kane, which brings us to a backstage segment featuring The Shield, where Roman Reigns was talking about how he has to face Mark Henry that night, and Dean Ambrose getting a little cocky. Oh, I softened him up for you, so you shouldn't have any problems with him. And Roman was like, "What are you talking about, dude? You lost last week. We had to come and save your ass." And
then Seth saved both of them.
Yeah,
not saved them, but no,
getting in the middle. Hey guys, break it up.
This is the best. Currently, the best being told story they have going.
Yeah,
and I don't even mean them setting the feud up with the Wyatts. I mean just the dynamics of the members of the Shield together.
Yeah, from the very beginnings of it, where Dean would say something and Roman would kind of turn his head and be like, "What'd you say? Did he just say that?"
Yeah, it's super. They're all really fleshed out. Dean is the kind of guy who's not so sure of himself, so he has to do crazy things to make himself feel okay. And, Seth's Seth's the mediator of the team. He's "Come on, guys, get together." Yeah, we're all together, and Roman's the stud.
Why can't we be friends? I need to stop doing that.
Well, even then though, they've done an excellent job of teasing, then showing, and then be okay, look, we're still a team though. We're not,
Yeah.
Believe in the Shield.
Hey, I know you said you need to stop doing that, but I love you doing that. Okay, I love you.
So much love. But yeah, so Roman Reigns to face Mark Henry later on in that night. Next up, we got to see Fandango going up against Santino Marella.
I don't know what the point of all that was.
It could just be a filler match, but
no Miz.
No Miz.
Oh yeah. One thing I didn't know, because I don't know of anything when it comes to Emma or whatever, even in NXT, they show a clip or whatever. She did some move or where, what was she doing that she was doing? Or she did that dance move. She incorporated it into one of her moves.
I think it was during a pin.
She was doing a Moodle lock. She was
she was going back, and
as she was bridging over to grab the head in the Moodle lock, she did the thing backwards to grab it.
Hey, I like that music that she comes out to.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
I get into it too. Hey, I'll do this. I don't care.
So, but where are they really going? I know they're trying to tell a story between Emma and Santino about how they're starting to
each other.
They're starting to bond, I guess, a little bit.
That's good. That's good. They can pick up what they were going to do when the Amazon was there. Remember, they were supposed to have a reality show when the WWE Network was originally going to air. And
when it was Santino and Beth?
And Kozlov.
Or Santino and Tamina?
It was going to be Santino and
Kozlov. Or
Kozlov
Santino and Maria.
Santino and Kozlov were good friends, and the girlfriend to Santino was the Glamazon.
Yeah.
But now they can do him. Nah, not really. I just threw out the idea, but...
Yeah. Anywho. But, what are they doing? Where are they going?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, why did?
Yeah.
I mean, you're building to the fucking chamber. You got your chamber.
Yeah.
You got like your, I wouldn't say co-main event, but you're definitely like a clear second match on the card with your Shield versus your Wyatts. I mean, it's okay to have like a fun little thing. I mean, like not everything has to be some big in scope thing. I have no problem with this.
It has to be big in scope. But anyways, Fandango ends up getting the victory, defeating Santino after Emma and Santino almost kiss, and Fandango cock blocking him. So
I was about to say, do it.
yeah.
Do it.
Dickhead.
Kiss the girl. Anyway, so that takes us into the next matchup. Roman Reigns going up against Mark Henry. Kind of a quick matchup, but Roman Reigns, man, his intensity is cranking up. Especially, I love it whenever he gets ready for the Superman punch. I still chuckle a bit whenever he cocks his wrist to get ready to pull the proverbial trigger.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. He's definitely finding his own character now, with his certain moves, which, I'm enjoying. And it really says a lot for him to go out and beat Mark Henry. Especially because of the run that Henry had a couple years ago. Just really good stuff. The match might have been short, but it was a very telling sign.
Induct him to the Hall of Pain.
Hall of Pain. How about you, Doug?
Well, I love the pre-match promo from Mark Henry. Your standard minute and a half Mark Henry promo is my favorite promo I think in the company right now still, because I don't know, he's just the hotness on the mic. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather hear him talk than just about anybody, even for just a minute and a half. Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking go kill someone. Yeah, I don't know. I think this match left a lot to be desired, and I kind of hate I sort of hate Henry's position of being I think he's more talented than to be the gatekeeper guy or the guy who's fed to people they're trying to make, because I feel like he's got enough in the tank to still be a guy himself,
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I could see the argument that he's accident prone, injury prone, and maybe that's why they don't want to invest too much in him. I guess I could totally see that. I'm such a fan of the guy that I kind of hate that he has to put other dudes over.
I would have much more preferred Mark Henry have to take the loss than having to see Great Khali go out there.
Well, sure. I mean, there's a reason they're picking him to do it, because he means something and he can do decently enough.
He means something. That's right.
Well, he does. I mean,
I mean that more as a knock to Great Khali.
Right. But I don't know. I don't think their styles necessarily complemented each other. They're both brawlers, obviously, but I don't necessarily know. I think Henry plays off better when a guy who's, he could wrestle like a brawler, like a Sheamus or something, but Roman isn't crisp enough of a brawler to mesh well with Henry right now. Because Henry's got that slow, clobbery brawl, and I think if you're gonna do a brawler on brawler with Henry, he's got to be a real crisp guy,
Right.
And I don't think Roman's there yet, so I thought this left a lot to be desired for me. But I appreciated it that they took a chance to try to make an interesting match. I feel like they tried, with the exception of Sheamus and Orton, which we've seen a million times. I felt like tonight was they're like, what are the most unique, interesting matchups we could put on? Because you got your Bryan, Christian, you got your Henry
Reigns,
you got your Claudio,
Cena,
Cesaro, Cena. I mean, a bunch of interesting matchups.
Mm-hmm. And to see Roman hit the Samoan drop on Mark Henry was impressive too.
See, I felt like they kind of bungled it a little bit.
Yeah, especially since Reigns didn't get his other hand up.
Right.
It looked like he was trying to push off of his leg to make sure he got him up, and then kind of just went back on it. But yeah, I felt like it's a huge feather in Reigns' cap for him to go out there and be able to beat Mark Henry.
Would you want to see another match between them, give him more time?
In a few months, maybe. Yeah. After give Reigns some more time to sort of.
Well, now they're gonna probably. Well, I don't know what they're gonna do next. While they're gonna have Mark Henry versus Seth.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to see.
I mean, I don't know. I think the purpose was served. Going over Henry means something, and so they gave it to Reigns, as they've been giving all this stuff that means something, right? And in his build, but I certainly don't think they complement each other like stylistically.
Yeah.
And so I thought the match again left a lot to be desired, but
okay. But after that, Dean Ambrose decided to attack Mark Henry, being frustrated that Roman was able to get the victory so easily, in a sense.
Now this was fucking awesome.
With Roman going, yeah, dude, what are you doing?
He said, "That's weak, dude."
Yeah. Why are you attacking someone after the match? What's wrong with you, man?
Well, I even like Ambrose's retort. He's like, "That's what we do. What do you mean?"
It's what we've done for the past year, man.
What we do.
But after that, the lights go out. The Wyatts appear on the screen, basically telling the Shield if they are not prepared to die on the battlefield, then they've already lost. I really like that they're giving the guys something to do now rather than just stand in the background when Bray's talking. Was it Rowan that said that if you're not prepared to die? Harper. He was like, are you prepared to die? It was just really good stuff. And then Roman gets on the microphone saying, hey, why you got to be, all talk back there? Why don't you come up here and say it to our face? And Bray Wyatt's on there saying, oh, that's just what we had in mind. So they come out. We have another Shield Wyatt standoff, which was excellent. Just, it's one of those things where it's like they've done it the right way to get you interested in these teams. They're not having that contact with one another, but it's something that you're ready to see. And the Wyatt family, backed out for that.
That's good.
One.
You don't want to have a contact fight,
right
before the pay-per-view.
I think that they've got, they've got like the formula down for the Wyatt's promo, where Bray's gonna sound like say his stuff, and then Harper's gonna get like a cool line in, and then Rowan just says run, which is like
run.
How I think works really well for them.
Yeah.
But still, ultimately,
run.
Wyatt says a bunch of like cryptic, cool sounding shit that means absolutely nothing. It has no fucking meaning. Like nothing that they've said.
I tell you what, man, if you don't run right now, the gates are gonna be open for you, and there's gonna be a man giving you a shovel.
Like this sounds like I'm shitting on Bray, but not at all. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah,
his
delivery is excellent.
Excellent delivery, but it doesn't.
What does it mean?
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. This is my the Wyatts are fucking awesome, right? But here's my beef.
Man with 3 letters for a name is gonna give you a shovel and said, "I've done my job."
My beef with the Wyatts is they keep hinting at this deeper meaning that they, I guess, supposedly could pay off one day, but give no glimpse of what this deeper meaning is.
Pulled that shit out of their ass.
It's just like he's just talking for 5 minutes of stuff that sounds really cool but means absolutely nothing.
I don't know why that sounds weird, but I don't. It's weird, but I love it at the same time.
And look, I know I'm not the smartest guy in the world. There are plenty of stuff in this life that go over my head, but I know perfectly. I know for a fact that they are not saying something that's going over my head. It really just doesn't mean anything. It's just a bunch of cryptic sounding shit.
With a shovel.
Again, I cannot stress enough that I don't think I'm
what we need to do
smart. There are plenty of stuff that goes over my head, but this is not going over my head. It just doesn't mean shit.
Here's an idea of something that we could do if we can get together one day and do a video for YouTube or something. We can analyze his promos. We can write it down, type it up, say here's what he said. Man, I tell you, the hounds are going to be put down.
He throws a shovel at a guy.
We should just we should get all his promos and try to put the story together.
Yes,
because it'd be all over the fucking place. And
this is what Bray Wyatt really means.
I cannot stress enough that I'm not shitting on Bray.
We can go back to his first promo as Bray Wyatt with Eli Cottonwood in the background. Man, I grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana.
I get the sense that the NXT stuff made a lot more sense than what they're doing now.
Right.
Well, Eli Cottonwood was with them
originally
for a brief time. Yeah,
he was
rocking a mustache.
Yeah, they're just all the big weird looking guys,
Yep.
But Again, I please don't think I'm shitting on Bray Wyatt because he's great, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
We will decipher.
It's cryptic, but it has no encryption. So, whatevs. But the standoff itself was just awesome to see. It was really cool to see, Bray take that first step forward, then Roman take the step forward, and, Harper and Rowan step up, and, Rollins and Ambrose stepping up as well. So it's just really cool. We haven't seen something like this in a long time, and I'm really enjoying it. But that takes us into the next matchup. Jack Swagger going up against Kofi Kingston. A quick matchup, I guess. I was watching the matchup, and I was mostly watching Kofi and the way that he's doing his moveset now. Like whenever he does the boom drop now, he doesn't have as much into it as he used to. And it makes me wonder, like, how much is he hurting, or is his body just not able to keep up with him anymore? Because whenever he first got into the WWE and he'd do the boom drop, he'd completely shake his shoulders, and now he does the one, and the other one
it may look like
doesn't do anything.
I don't know. Maybe you like, hey, the one looks cool, or maybe he just can't. Well, I don't know if he can't do it. Well,
I don't know, but
who knows?
But yeah, so but Jack Swagger ends up defeating Kofi Kingston.
I don't know. I like this may be a weird thing, but I like the fact that it's like their tag team may be coming to an end. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Cesaro is the guy who's going for the main event stuff, and Swagger is But they've still got something going on for both of them, though.
Yeah, because on SmackDown, Swagger was the winner of a Fatal 4-Way matchup to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, and Swagger made Kofi tap then, and he made him tap on Raw. So looking strong, getting ready to go up against Big E. And speaking of Big E, he came up next and faced Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. This was another fairly quick matchup with Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger deciding to stay out at ringside, and Zeb was on the microphone sort of just taunting Big E throughout the entire matchup. But
tried to throw him off his game, but it did not.
Did not work. Big E Langston ends up getting the victory and basically telling Zeb, hey, I hope you have diapers the size that fit you, because your mouth won't be the only thing full of crap on Sunday. Zing. Anything from those two matches?
No, I was super distracted by Zeb talking over the whole time.
You want Swagger to beat Big E, or what do you say?
Does anyone here think that Big E can beat Jack Swagger? Yay!
Y'all don't know nothing.
Y'all don't know anything. Shovel. So, yeah. But Big E ends up defeating Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. Which is a good thing, because that takes us into the next matchup. John Cena versus Cesaro. Simply Cesaro. Just Big E, just Cesaro now. So
just a bear.
Just a bear. Yeah.
Google me.
You Google yourself. Why should we? Oh, man. Can't say enough good things about this matchup. Excellent match. For those who are like, oh, Cena sucks, he can't put on a good match. Well, there you go. It takes two to tango. It wasn't just Cesaro. Great work by both people. Excellent match. I feel like we've kind of been getting spoiled here recently with the Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton match that happened not too long ago. Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. And now Antonio Cesaro. God, that's going to take a while. Cesaro versus...
Antonio Cesaro.
No. I have to get out of that rhythm. Cesaro versus Cena match. These are three excellent matches that we've gotten here recently. What did you guys think about it? I think it was a definite shiner for Cesaro.
Mm-hmm.
Shining moment.
That's what I've been saying I want for a while, because I think that I wasn't sure if they first faced each other in a singles match.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was highly enjoyable.
How about you, Doug?
I mean, it was awesome. They fucking tore it down. I mean, I don't know. It was definitely an out of the box match for Cena. Even I'm a guy who thinks Cena is good in a Cena match, and this wasn't a Cena match by any means. I don't know. It was weird. Like, they did a bunch of cool, like, shit. Like, just the transition from the Cesaro countering the setup to the 5-knuckle shuffle into the big swing, which was countered into the STF, which was countered into the gut wrench. I was like, what the fuck, man? This is, I don't know. It was cool. Like,
it was professional wrestling at its finest.
Yeah, I mean, they tore it down. There was, like, a bunch of cool counters. I love, like, just the like, Cesaro's got to the point where he'll tease, like, the swing, like, at least twice before he hits it. And people, like, go fucking nuts for it before he ever even catches it. But, yeah, man, it was fucking awesome. And I know I don't post on the Facebook, but I know I follow along with, like, you know, the stuff you're posting and stuff the fans are posting. And I know you kind of seemed like made it seem like you thought this would be a good spot to put Cesaro over, but I don't know. Like, I don't think, like, you can open the floodgates on that stuff yet. Like, Cena put Bryan over clean.
Yeah.
You can't, if he just starts letting whoever go over him clean, it doesn't mean something. Yeah, you gotta space that kind of stuff out, I think. And he just went over at Orton, which says a lot in itself. Like, Cesaro going over Orton, which says a lot. And so,
did you get to check out that matchup, by the way?
It was excellent. It was an excellent match.
Really good stuff from both people.
But yeah, I mean, it was awesome, and, like, you know, it makes it's a statement. Just hanging with Cena that closely is a statement enough for Cesaro. That's putting him over in itself.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I did like about the matchup, not pertaining to Cesaro and Cena, was the fact that Zeb and Swagger were ringside, and they made sure to keep their distance. You know, like whenever Cena fell to the outside, or whenever Cena got on the top rope and Cesaro delivered that uppercut to him, and he just fell to the outside.
Right.
And Zeb and Swagger both stepped back. They both put their arms out to make sure that the other one didn't get close, because they didn't want to ruin that moment. You know, so they were there fully to support Cesaro and cheer him on, not to interfere in the matchup, not to get involved. You know, it was just a really nice touch that I enjoyed. You know, and going back to what I said on Facebook, like, I felt like that could have been one of those, you know, that could have been like a career defining moment. You know, yeah, you want Cena to have his momentum, but he's already such an established guy that, you know, this would have been a good time to have Cesaro be, you know, I mean, yeah, he held his own, so I can certainly see the argument of, you know, he doesn't need the win because he held his own, he proved what he can do, he's going to be, you know, one of the future contenders.
They put him on the same plane as Cena.
Yeah, you know,
not only in the ring, but they were. It was kind of bullshit, but it was their way of putting him over. Like, they're comparing him to Cena. Like, they're like, these are the same type of guys. They don't work out together.
They have
but
the work ethic of each other, and, you know, no one works harder in the ring than Cesaro. So
and that's like one of the very few instances of commentary doing their fucking job.
But, even though he lost, he still got put over. You know?
Right, but like, I feel like you can't just open the floodgates and let everybody go see it, because then it doesn't mean anything.
But who else? They're not.
Bryan. I mean, if you say you want to put Cesaro and Ziggler over Cena too, then that lessens. Right now, Bryan's beating Cena and Orton clean consistently, and if he doesn't, he's getting fucked over in a loss.
Right.
He didn't lose it himself. Someone fucked him over, and that means a lot. That's like establishing Bryan's credibility, like, repetitively. But if you put even Cesaro, like, you got to distance that stuff, because Cena still has to mean something to make somebody else. So if you just say, okay, you know how he made that comment about his, like, okay, you want to, you know, the future of the company's got to go through me. You want to be somebody, you go through me. Well, I think that's a cool, like, once you get through the Bray Wyatt stuff you do at WrestleMania or whatever they're going to want to do with that, that's a cool angle down the line that keeps Cena in, you know, a focused storyline in a high profile match, but still, like, you know, you could do your Cesaro feud where the payoff to that feud is finally Cesaro does go over, but, like, it means something more than because it's not right on the heels of everybody else going over Cena.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can definitely see that. You know, and it could be a good storyline to have with him out of the picture hunt or the title hunt.
Yeah.
You know, like, after Mania, he's like, hey, I'm still here. You want to be a top guy. You know, you step through that curtain and you look me in the eye, and that could set up for months of different challengers trying to be that top guy. It's not even we're not here to win the title. We're here to show that we want to be that next guy. And so you could have Ziggler go out there but lose. You could have Cesaro go out there, and that could be, like you said, that defining moment. I could see that at SummerSlam being a huge payoff. Excuse me.
This could be a tease of like a co-main event of SummerSlam. You never know.
Yeah, and or even what's the name of that guy who's coming up through NXT that they're showing the promos on?
Alexander Rusev.
Yeah, like he could be a challenger for whatever the pay-per-view is. What is it, Extreme Rules after WrestleMania? Like he could be this would be me, saying, I'm not here to fool around. He'd lose, but he would be able to show what he can do. So I actually think that would be a very wise decision if they were to actually run with this gimmick that we're kind of talking about, of Cena wanting to find that next big guy for the day that he decides to step off, or even kind of fade out of the title picture hunt and just I just want to wrestle because that's what I love.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cool angle, and you can actually incorporate a couple of different guys into it, and eventually it'll pay off for somebody. But to get back to our original point, I feel like
you can't do that to everybody. Well, I think what you were going to say is you can't just keep on doing that for Cesaro, and then he's going to go for the Wyatts next and let them do that. And it has
my point is
something.
if Cena lays down for Bryan and then Cena lays down for Cesaro, then it doesn't mean not that it doesn't mean anything, but if Cena starts laying down for everybody they think needs to get to the next, it doesn't mean as much,
But the thing,
what made that win so crazy and everyone lost their shit when Bryan did it, because it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, and
people hate that, but the reason that it's special is because it means something when it does happen.
Yeah.
But the thing for me was that you had Orton come out and say, "Oh, Cena, you don't deserve to be the face of WWE. You can't even beat me." Whereas Cesaro's standing right there. Well, shit, I beat you on Friday. So, if he can't beat you, but I can, what should that say for me? And then Cena beats him. So, that just makes a whole triangle of who can beat who.
But I think that's on purpose, and maybe even for the better, because that just kind of ripens the storylines. It's like saying, well, who's the favorite there? Well, this guy beat this guy, but he didn't beat this guy, and this guy beat this guy, but he didn't beat this guy. That kind of not only does it make people seem like they're sort of on the same plane going into the chamber, but it also kind of ripens future storylines and future feuds. You know what I mean?
And
I'm totally fine with it. I think they gave him Orton, and that means enough as is. And, and just hanging with Cena so closely,
and the crowd was going nuts for this matchup. So really good stuff. Just excellent match. Can't say enough good things about it. It's definitely going to be one of those best of Raw 2014. On the DVD that they put out. Just a really good showing. So for those who complain about Cena stale matches and stuff like that, there's one for you to enjoy. Next up, we got the backstage segment between Triple H, Randy Orton, talking about their days in Evolution, and he doesn't want to face Batista, and Batista's behind him and says, "You're not the face of WWE, you're an ass." So
you're the ass of WWE.
Yeah. And then Orton walks off, and Del Rio's sporting a neck brace from the powerbomb he received, and saying,
Delito Chihuahua powered bomb me.
I'm going to take your arms and break them off of your body.
So why the fuck do you want me to pay $55 to see this fucking match? Because Batista's literally ripped this guy limb from limb for 5 consecutive weeks or something.
Yeah.
Every time he's seen him, he's totally fucking killed him. They have not made Del Rio seem like even.
Yeah, and we know that Del Rio is going to lose. Yeah, well, we don't really know, but we have a feeling that Del Rio is going to lose.
So why don't just do this fucking match on Raw? Because it's not. You have not made him seem like a credible.
You got to have a filler.
Well,
maybe one time they did. Maybe one time where Del Rio was that first time. Well, not the first time, but they were in the ring. They're talking to each other, and he punked him out and hit him, and was beating up on.
Yeah, but then he killed him right after. He
next
bucked
Raw
in his face, and then he was like,
he was about to powerbomb. Then he rolled out of the ring.
Yeah, but that's like every time they've actually made physical contact with each other, he's killed them, and not just like we brawled for a minute and then we got separated. He's like fucking powerbombed him repeatedly for like 5 weeks in a row.
I don't know. I guess they're trying to.
So
We're gonna make Batista look good.
So
I don't know if
they have not. There's no credibility till Del Rio. So why would we want to see that match at all?
And the thing that pissed me off about this segment was whenever Batista shoved Del Rio into the, whatever it was that was there, Triple H just like put his hands up and he's like, "Whoa, I don't want any party of this, guys. I'm going back to my office."
I took that as him giving him the look that, hey, I told you shit was different now. You can't be doing that. That's how I interpret it.
Okay.
He was giving him the don't pull that shit. I told you not to pull that shit look, in my opinion.
So therefore, I am stripping you of your number one contendership matchup for WrestleMania.
Well, I just think I don't know. I just think it's like even if Del Rio were to win, which he is not in a million years going to win this match. I'm not even suggesting that. But even then, all anyone would say was, yeah, but he got his ass whooped for 5 weeks in a row going into this.
Mm-hmm.
Batista powerbombed him like to hell and back like 5 times. Like what does this matter?
Unless Batista is Big Show and Del Rio is Lesnar from the Royal Rumble and he just beats the holy hell out of him with a steel chair before the matchup. No.
Poor Del Rio. Poor Del Rio.
Yeah. Well, this is probably what I don't know his contract out, but when it's
this year,
well, that's gonna be like he's gonna be leaving.
And he's pretty much said he's done, and so is Christian as well. So
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I really don't.
So, anywho, after that, we got a backstage segment with.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to cut you off there. Have y'all seen like the screenshots and the new trailers for Guardians of the Galaxy?
I saw the teaser.
I saw the 15-minute teaser. They're supposed to
teaser. That's what I meant.
The whole trailer is supposed to go live tonight.
They also have, I don't know where I saw it, but they have some con or something coming up where they have all these new toys, and they showed the line for Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff.
I heard from what was I listening to? I was listening to some podcast, and they were saying the Captain America toys are out and on the shelves, but don't go through them unless you want like a big appearance spoiler, because they packed some guy who's not supposed to be known into the toys. So
I want to go see.
So if
you just like spoilers, don't you?
I want to go see. Let's go now. Bye.
Why don't you just read the script? You don't even have to see it.
Okay.
You can go. It's fine. Just go.
But yeah, supposedly
go, Tyler.
Whatever surprise appearance was packed into the toys. I don't know.
I'll find out.
So, don't tell us, and don't tell
Noah.
And don't tell Noah. Oh, poor Noah. He's trying so hard to avoid everything Captain America related. But anyways, we got a backstage segment with Titus O'Neil and Renee Young basically saying, how do you spell, what was it, title?
A champion.
Champion.
Something like
C-H. Wrong. T-I-T-U-S.
What's up with the
Titus?
What's up with every fucking dude who gets interviewed by Renee is like so sexist to her. It's like, what's up, baby doll? Blah,
I'm waiting for the day where they
fucking condescend to her every.
They're gonna
fucking
incorporate a sexual harassment case. I can just tell. Like it's gonna be Fandango or Roman Reigns or someone. Hey, don't worry, baby doll.
Yeah, they condescend to her every fucking time, and she's the best fucking backstage interviewer they have, bar none.
And what cracks
Put
me
her
up?
on fucking commentary. I want Renee.
She wants to be. Actually.
Yeah, I support that. I support her over any of those fuckheads on commentary right now.
Take out JBL and Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole.
I'd like to see like Renee Young, Joey Styles, like
combo
right there.
That'd be
I
good.
get behind that. I'm all about Renee getting on the
Who would do
commentary.
color though?
She would do color.
Yeah.
She's with it though. She kind of knows her shit. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell she's a fan. Joey's got like
He's good play-by-play.
He's a good play-by-play.
But see, they wouldn't allow that because they don't want play-by-play. They want storytelling.
Well, we're fantasy booking. She's not even going to make the commentary team, sadly. But
anytime soon, at least.
Yeah, I think it'd be fucking cool if she's the first chick that they let do. I just did the same thing. I was like fucking rattling everybody else off. I called her a chick. If she's the first, I didn't mean
sexist motherfucker.
Well, I didn't condescend like all those other bastards, but I just used it as a synonym for a lady. So I think it'd be cool if she was the first woman on the commentary team. I don't know. I support that.
It'd be cool. It'd be interesting to see. But Titus O'Neil sort of having a little crack in his voice or something and getting getting some high pitch up there.
He started off really well, and I thought it was a strong promo. Like,
Yeah.
the whole like I'm gonna interview myself thing. Like, I thought it was cool, but you could tell he was like, he ran out of stuff to say, and he's like, if I just yell loud enough, then it'll sound like I have something to say, you know? But
Witness the rise of Titus O'Neil's voice.
Yeah. He had like a good half of a promo there. So
By the way, I found out.
Well, don't tell us. Don't tell
I don't
Noah.
care. I'm not gonna watch it.
Well, don't say it while we're recording. You can say it later if you want. I'm just gonna say it. Oh,
You heard me.
I did. I shouldn't have, but I did. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
This is the first one.
Yeah,
not
it's
big
really
surprise,
not. Anywho, next matchup, got to see the Wyatt family going up against Los Matadores and Sin Cara. So, short matchup. Wyatt's end up getting the victory. Nothing really to take away from that.
So did you read something about? Did the original Sin Cara get released?
Yeah,
For sure?
he already signed with another company.
But he has to be something else, not Sin Cara
Yeah.
and not Mystico. So
I think he said he was trying to get Sin Cara. We reported this like a few weeks ago.
no, well, that he got released into another company.
Yeah.
That was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? But I thought I read something else about him recently. I don't know.
And because he can't be Mystico and he can't be Sin Cara, so. But he was
That
trying to
still
be.
sucks. I mean, that gives Unico something to do. But
Yeah.
poor Camacho lost his running buddy.
Yeah. And it's really funny because, like, whenever the original Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio were teaming up, there wasn't a whole lot of difference in the height. And now whenever they stand next to each other, there's just this huge difference. It is very noticeable. But Wyatt's ended up getting the victory. Nothing really to take away from
But
that
the thing is,
matchup.
though, with the Sin Cara, they're not going to get. I feel like they're not going to give him a push. He's just going to be there.
For Sin Cara?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just going to be there. Like, because with they did push the Sin Caras.
They still have time to do Sin Cara versus Rey Mysterio for WrestleMania so we can get a free mask and be part of a Guinness World Record. I want to be part of a Guinness World Record. That'd be cool.
Give me the Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara mixed mask. Both
Yes.
of them. Both of them.
Yes.
I don't think they ever sold them on WWE.
No, they did not.
Both of them.
That'd be awesome. So next up, next
Next up.
next matchup, we got to see Jey Uso going up against Billy Gunn. What
I
else?
didn't get to see that part.
They weren't even focusing on the match. They were focusing on commentary the whole time.
I could definitely picture that
because Road Dogg and
Road
Jimmy
Dogg.
were on commentary, just going back and forth with one another.
I
It was
just want Billy Gunn to go in the ring and like would do what he did back in the past, where he had those shorts on with the lips like right on his.
He still has those.
I know, but like he'll like what he used to do in the past, like he pretends to hit his nuts or whatever like that. And I don't know. It's like a movement. It looks
You're
weird and funny at the same time.
You're weird.
He's an ass man. I'm an ass man. Duh, duh. Bring that shit back. I like that song.
Oh, you didn't know?
You didn't know?
You're better call somebody.
Your ass better call somebody. Okay?
Why can't they bring that back?
Yeah, I know, right?
They can say ass all they want, but they can't bring it back in the theme? That's weird. Anyway,
Ass Billy Gunn.
so next up we got to see the main event, I guess you can call it that. Sheamus versus Randy Orton. The same match that got pretty much booed out of the building the night after WrestleMania. It's a match we've seen several times before. These two do not click. Last week we were praising Sheamus and his work with Antonio Cesaro. Just Sheamus and Orton do not mesh well. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't see the fascination with these two of constantly putting them together only for the crowd to just get completely bored with them.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes they may click, but more
Yeah.
often
No,
they
I
don't.
I haven't seen enough good from their matches. It's just I don't know. It's just no. What about you, Doug? What are your thoughts on Sheamus versus Orton? Good mesh or no?
Their match was fine. I didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't like it, but I guess it's the thing where it's like you feel a certain way so much that whenever you see it again, you just instantly have those feelings. It's like,
Flashbacks.
yeah, I mean, I tried to keep an open mind about it, but I was just like so turned off with it. I was just like, I'm done. But Sheamus ends up.
if you really want to look at it, I think the common denominator in all of the matches that are getting shit on is Orton, really.
Yeah.
He's in all of them.
Yeah.
Which I kind of felt like Orton's even stepped his game up recently, which is kind
has.
of weird.
Yeah. But
So I wonder why they weren't shitting on him that whole time. They thought he was a cool guy, and now, like, when he's actually trying to have a good match, now they start shitting on him. I find that weird.
Step your game up, face of the company.
PSP. So, but yeah, Sheamus ends up defeating Randy Orton via disqualification after the Shield attack, and then Cena, Cesaro, Christian, Sheamus, Bryan, Wyatt,
everybody in the ring,
everyone brawls, and
I think I was in the ring too.
No, you weren't. And that's how they closed out Raw, which is good. I know they did it on SmackDown. Someone mentioned before the Royal Rumble, but I really like it whenever they have that chaos brawl at the end for the go home show for Raw, because it feels a little more important. Like, oh man, I'm gonna have to check this out. This is the last pay per view that I'm gonna have to pay $60 for. Good stuff, or $49.95, $50, whatever. $54.95, whatever.
It depends if you get the regular or HD.
Yeah, you got to go HD. Come on now. So yeah, that's how they closed out Raw. Felt like it was definitely one of the stronger shows. They added a lot of emphasis on the pay-per-view, a lot of importance to it.
I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, really good stuff. So there you go. Time to go into the Elimination Chamber predictions. We'll kick things off with the kickoff show.
Yes!
Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Ryback. So, Tyler.
Take 2 Ryback and call me in the morning.
No. So, Tyler, who are you going to go with on this one?
This is weird, okay? I'm going to go with Ryback.
Oh, interesting.
Just, Cody and Goldust have been losing more of late than usual, so I don't know if they're going to go with Cody and Goldust fighting, which that'd be cool to see, but I still think they should be at the tag team. But in my head, I think Ryback is going to win.
Okay.
That's weird I said that. That's so weird. I can't believe I just did that, but Ryback.
Well, take 2 and call someone in the morning. All right, Doug, how about you? Okay, I'll go to me. I hate to say this, but Tyler made a point.
Wow, I convinced you on something?
He
never listens to me. No.
I'm going to go with...
Unspoken rule of the show is we never put it over that Tyler made a point. You just broke the rule.
I'm sorry. Damn it. Okay. Well, this will be the series finale
of the
podcast, and had to break that rule. Yeah. Cody and Goldust have been on a losing streak as of late, and they're seeming to be in a habit of odd booking and breaking up tag teams. So I think Ryback is going to get the win on this one, just because it's not technically a pay-per-view match. So Ryback can have the win, because we know his history with matches and pay-per-views. Losses galore.
I'm paying for that. I mean, whoever gets
You're not paying for that.
No,
you can watch that on YouTube.
But it's also part of the package when you buy the pay-per-view too.
Technically, yeah.
Technically,
So you're gonna say Ryback gets a win on a pay-per-view?
Fuck.
Yeah.
I guess I'll pick Ryback over Curtis Axel to get the win.
Ryback over Curtis Axel?
No. I mean, I didn't mean to say that. I meant Ryback get the pin, then Curtis Axel.
Okay. All right. Well, Doug, how about you?
I'm going to take Ryback, but not because Tyler made any kind of fucking point.
I don't listen to Tyler.
You know what? I retract my statement earlier.
Come here, I'm going to slap you in the face.
Doug, you made an excellent point. I'm going to go with Ryback for the win.
I'm going to slap you in the face. Come here.
So we're going to kick things off. But Tyler, we will let you pick the first matchup for our predictions. What's it going to be?
Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young.
So Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young.
I'm going with Titus because I guess they're pushing him more than Darren Young. The whole heel turn and stuff.
Yeah.
And
the heel turn just months after their face turn.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go not Darren Young, Titus O'Neil. Sorry.
Titus O'Neil? All right.
I'm going with Titus as well.
Titus? All right. I'm going to go with Titus O'Neil as well. Clash of the Titus.
Clash of the Players.
All right. Doug, what matchup do you think we should go into next? There's so many. There's 5 remaining, I believe. Batista, Del Rio, Big E versus Swagger, Usos versus New Age Outlaws for the tag team championships of the world.
I think they're going to put on the Usos. I think that's the point of Outlaws taking the belts off of the Rhodes brothers, and so they could switch babyface to babyface without having to turn one of those teams. So,
okay,
yeah, I'm going to say Usos.
All right. How about you, Tyler?
I agree with Doug. I'm going to go with Usos, even though I can still see WWE like, oh, let's just have the belts on the Outlaws for another month.
Can I say one thing about the Usos before we go on? I don't like how they're incorporating the music into the war chant now. Like, I liked how before when it was silent and just them doing the yelling and the like slapping thing. Now they're putting like a little music behind it. I don't like that.
No, they've done that for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I never fucking realized it until last night.
I know they had it a little louder. But they've had it for a while.
I think they should just keep it quiet and let them do the chant, and then like it when the explosion goes, that's when you hit the music. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No, they've definitely been doing that for a few months.
Excuse me, princess.
Well then,
Get your fucking nasty feet on the other side.
I'm gonna go with the New Age Outlaws to retain on this one. I feel like they might book it for Mania to give Usos the big win.
Yeah, that's possible. I'm sticking with Usos.
Okay. Tyler,
Me too.
All right. So you two going Usos, me going
Outlaws.
New Age Outlaws. So we'll have to see how that pertains. Let's do the next matchup. Big E versus Jack Swagger for the Intercontinental Championship of the world. I think I'm going to go with Big E. I don't really see Swagger taking it off unless it's to try and say, oh, Swagger, got the job done, but Cesaro didn't. So you're out of here, Cesaro. Go.
You kind of see that, though.
Yeah. I mean, I can too. But I'm going to go with Big E.
Swagger definitely fucking needs Zeb way more than Cesaro does.
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Big E. Langston.
I'm going with Big E.
Langston. You know Langston?
Can't you see?
Big E.
How awesome would that be if he came out to that sometime?
That'd be really
Sometimes
Even if it was
just
one night.
hypnotize me.
awesome. That'd be awesome.
Biggie, can't you see? Anywho, so we're all picking Big E Langston to pick up the victory on that one. Tyler, you get to pick the next one.
I'll pick the one that we don't care about right now. Batista versus Del Rio.
Batista. Okay, so Doug, you get to pick the next one. What's it gonna be?
Shields Wyatts.
Shields versus Wyatt. So
I'm gonna take the Wyatts.
I'm going to take the Wyatts as well.
Me 3.
As well as they has booked this, you kind of have
dissension
to.
in
the dissension. You want to make Wyatt seem strong and his questionable feud with Cena. So there you go. So good stuff. Final matchup, Elimination Chamber match. Randy Orton, Christian, Sheamus, John Cena, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan.
This is the hardest to pick.
The questionable. Who is going to WrestleMania to face Batista? Are they going to give it to Bryan so that Orton and Batista versus Bryan, a triple threat match, or Bryan versus Batista at Mania? I feel like they dug themselves in a hole putting Batista in the main event.
At least they cleared themselves of Lesnar.
Yeah. All signs are indicating that it's going to be Orton versus Batista at WrestleMania 30, which I think is just going to get demolished by the fans.
Yeah,
definitely. I think that would probably be the best time to start making our way to the vehicle or something.
Because there's still
it won't be the main event.
No.
Because we know I feel like there's going to be some shenanigans. Kane's going to get involved
somehow. There was talk of adding Bryan to the match to make it a triple threat.
Yeah. And I feel like they have to. Not necessarily they have to, but it would be the wisest decision to give him that Cinderella ending.
Yeah, because the only other way you can get Bryan in that title match is if you have him win at the Chamber.
Yeah.
And successfully defending at Mania doesn't mean as much as a babyface winning it at Mania.
Right. You got to have that awesome pyro moment. Yeah. Winning it. The journey has come to an end.
But even if he wins it at the Chamber, and even if he ends it, they'll shit on it less if he's in the fucking match. No matter how he gets there, if they course correct enough to get him in the match, whether it be a triple threat, whether he wins the Chamber and then they switch him and he's defending, either way, it will shit on it less if he's in the fucking match.
Yeah.
But if he's not, they're gonna fucking kill it. They're gonna rip that match apart.
Because Orton is a heel. Batista is disliked due to the popularity of Bryan. So to have Bryan in that match, the smallest of the three, Well,
if you turn Batista and make it like, if you do triple threat and fully go ahead and embrace the hate of Batista, make Bryan overcome the odds of both Batista and Orton, now that would be something
to have
salvageable,
To have Batista say, Orton, you and I have had our differences, and we're going to settle it at Mania. Bryan, you're too small to hang with me. You better just stay out of my way, or I'm just going to run you down. And then for Orton to come in and say, this is my chance to be face of WWE, blah 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 blah,
blah 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 blah.
But the question is, you should not give Bryan the title at Chamber. As much as we'd all like to see it, it shouldn't happen because, like you said, faces winning it at Mania would have a lot more to it.
A hell of a lot more.
It means so much more. But the question would be, how do you convince the uppers, to say, oh, well, you lost at the Chamber, but we're going to put you in the main event at Mania?
Well, you do if they don't put him in, then they have to do Bryan. He has to inherit the Punk feud and do Bryan Triple H at Mania.
Yeah.
So you just hot shot that angle, have Bryan go over Kane a few times on the road to Mania, and then somehow it works where he gets a match on Raw.
If I can beat you,
I'll insert you.
Give me the chance that I deserve.
So he goes over Triple H on a Raw, and then they insert him in the triple threat for the belt, and turn Batista to where the odds are stacked against him.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the
ultimate underdog.
That would be the way to sell. It would have meant a lot more if he won the Rumble and then also won the belt at Mania. But this salvages it,
This is their chance to correct their mistake from the Rumble. But you got to pick a winner. I feel like it's gonna be a really good Chamber match. There's gonna be a lot of injuries.
It's gonna be a hell of a match. No doubt.
You got
everybody in there can go.
Yeah. So, but I think the logical decision, keep Orton as champion, and then have some sort of interference from Kane costing Bryan the matchup. Have Orton and Bryan be the last two in the Chamber. Kane somehow distracts Bryan, does something to cost Bryan the matchup, and then that could cause Bryan to come out and say, look, I deserve a chance without being distracted by Kane. Put me in the main event. And then they say, oh, if you want this, you're going to have to earn it. And that's going to cause the week of, him trying to do it. But my prediction, Orton.
Orton.
All right. How about you, Doug?
Orton.
I'm going Orton too.
Okay. So give us your thoughts on your predictions for Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
let us know. Let us know what you think of our scenario. Should Daniel Bryan be in the main event at WrestleMania?
Should Cesaro win?
So there you go. Time to move into some hot topics. Mick Foley has announced that he's planning a show during WrestleMania weekend.
What, comedy thingy?
Yeah. It's not really. Well, I mean, I guess it's a comedy show, but whenever he talked about it earlier, it was sort of a storytelling.
I wonder how that'll fit into her skit. I didn't know if
that's what I was wondering too.
Just to check out and see what time that would be,
Do a really, really late show, like 11 p.m. or something, so that we can possibly have a chance of going to see that. But we'll have to see. Despite reports earlier in the week, WWE has come out and said we have not released CM Punk. So apparently, Vince McMahon's still trying to bring Punk back and
negotiation.
Yes.
Well, look, the Raw Fall in the Chambers in Chicago, right?
I think so.
If he's not on that Raw, then we know for sure he's going to stay home for the long haul. If he's going to come back, if there's any chance of it working out, if it was a work all along, they'll bring him back in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
If Vince meets with him and promises him whatever the fuck he wants to get him back,
$25 million.
then they'll bring him back that night in Chicago, right? I mean,
Get your son-in-law off my back.
if he's not there, then that means he's out for good for the extension of his contract.
Because the fans are going to go nuts.
But I know there's a Raw in Chicago coming up. It's this coming up Monday, isn't it? After the Chamber?
Don't know.
One of these weeks coming up, and there's a Raw in Chicago. And if he's not back by then, he's not coming back.
Yeah, so
Work or shoot.
We'll have to see. Other hot topic news for you: Scott Hall, heavily rumored to be the next inductee for the WWE Hall of Fame. These reports are coming due to him pulling out of attending WrestleCon. So who knows? We'll have to see. I feel like if they put Scott Hall as well as Jake the Snake, it would make sense to put Diamond Dallas Page in there as well, just for his work in WCW. Not to mention the work he's done with Scott Hall and Jake the Snake in rebuilding not their careers but their lives.
Bang!
So, and we've had the talk about how serious can you take the Hall of Fame anyway. So I think DDP would be just fine. Especially for this kind of year. But yeah, Scott Hall, heavily rumored for WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I've said like 100 times how I feel about the Hall of Fame, so I'm not gonna debate it. I mean, whatever is whatever.
In Jeff Jarrett news, 2011 Tough Enough winner Andy, I forget, is it Levine or Levine? He actually reached out to Jeff Jarrett, trying to earn a spot in Jarrett's upcoming promotion. Is that anything you guys want to be interested in seeing?
I mean, I'm always interested in seeing a new.
What's his? Yeah.
It's
Any other details about it?
No, just
No,
that.
not really.
I wonder if he's doing like the indie circuits around where he lives.
I don't know.
No, he's trying to get this promotion put together with whatever that country dude's name is.
I think he means Andy.
Oh, I'm
Andy.
sorry. I thought you meant Jeff Jarrett. My bad. No, I mean, I'm definitely interested.
The roids.
I'm definitely interested in seeing, what they come up with. I'm more interested in seeing what AAA does as far as their expansion into the U.S. supposedly starting in April.
There you go. More news. Tommy Dreamer has announced dates for House of Hardcore 4 and 5. 4 is going to be taking place Friday, June 6th at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie.
Is that
in New York?
some ECW stuff?
Poughkeepsie?
Poughkeepsie.
Is that just like a
Poughkeepsie.
card with hardcore wrestlers, or they just do stuff of past ECW stuff again?
A little bit of both. So yeah, it's going to be June 6th at
It's
the
like
Mid-Hudson
it's like
Civic
ECW
Center.
dudes mixed with some
new-
indie guys.
Yeah. And House of Hardcore 5 is going to be taking place Saturday,
That's a yearly of
June
thing,
7th, out at the National Guard
No.
Armory in Philly.
What?
No, they run.
That's what the promotion is.
Yeah, it's not like a once a year show. It's like they run consistently, or they haven't been because they had some problems with their TV deal.
Yeah.
But they are like a regular promotion.
Yeah. So there you go. In Diva news, Naomi saying she's going to be out up to 6 weeks. I think they said 4 to 6 weeks, something like that.
Because her
so.
fucking head got blasted open by a knee.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Really tough stuff. Going back into Kofi Kingston, talking about the way he's been acting. Jim Ross actually spoke out, saying, "I think that Kofi is due for a persona change. He's got an upside that hasn't been tapped, and unless his TV persona is changed, he's going to be perceived just as he has over the past few years. Kofi is a talent WWE can make a main eventer out of." Agree? Disagree?
No, I disagree. I don't think he's a main eventer by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like he can be capitalized on more than he is.
Yeah.
And I think that would entail persona change, but I don't think it necessarily has to do with face or heel like Tyler said he needs to be a heel. I do think he just needs to change. I mean, he dropped the fake Jamaican thing years ago. He's still doing fake Jamaican entrance music. He's still got the Rasta guy on his tights,
I still like that music.
He's not just the boom boom guy.
Well, but
more
because
than that.
that's so recognizable by the kids.
Yeah.
As soon as he goes out there, they know exactly who the fuck that is. They know exactly what to do along to it. But I mean,
It's time for something new.
He cemented himself in that spot on the card, with that gimmick.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Time to move into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First question coming to us from Thomas. Drop it low,
Your
son.
questions are bullshit answers.
Yeah, depending on what the question is.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Wow, that was big as fuck.
Saying, hey guys,
change it up, Thomas. Sorry.
as I don't have Sky Sports and I can't use the WWE Network yet, I often resort to watching WWE online on places such as YouTube, but whenever I search for an episode of Raw, I have to meander through tons of videos which have the same general message of this episode of Raw was the worst ever. PG WWE sucks. Now that you have all discussed the position of fans in wrestling and have commented on what they do, often takes away from the show. So I'll ask, why do you think fans seemingly want to complain so much about the product?
I think they just complain about little shit and all that stuff because there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I just think that if one thing doesn't go right, they're just gonna, they kind of lost focus on a lot of stuff, and they're kind of what does Doug say? They're short-minded. No, I don't know. Their intention expand, or I can't say
Attention span.
Yeah, I can't talk. So they just chant random shit, or if one thing they don't like, they just go nuts. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of it's hive-mindedness. A lot of it is what they perceive to be the cool thing to do. I think a lot of it is a lack of actual perspective on what is actually happening in pro wrestling history. A lack of understanding of how pro wrestling has always been, how pro wrestling works, and what makes pro wrestling work. I think it's a lack of perspective on all that. I think it's rose-tinted glasses in a lot of cases, and then I think it's no tinted glasses at all. We just never saw it, but we heard it. It was amazing all the time, and so we just assumed that was true, even though we have no perspective because we never even saw it. I think it's a lot of basically hearsay and a lot less of we actually experienced this stuff, because it's always it was so much better than PG this, Attitude Era that. Half the people never experienced it. Half of it only go by what they didn't go back to experience it themselves. They go by what they hear, and then they have this perception of what they think is cool to say. They have this perception of what they think the cool stance to take on the stuff is, and they just jump in with that instead of thinking independently for themselves, deciding for yourself what you like, deciding for yourself what you don't like, having a basic understanding that not everything on every card could possibly be awesome, having an understanding of not everything that's on every wrestling card is meant for you to enjoy, but is meant for to hit demographics, to pop different people. A lot of people don't have the understanding of a few things I didn't like, so the whole thing fucking sucks.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who do that.
They don't push the guy that I like, so the whole thing fucking sucks. It's all that.
Just example, the Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan didn't win, so the whole pay-per-view sucked.
I think a lot of it pertains to, memory is what you want it to be. So everyone's like, oh, the Attitude Era was the best ever. But there was a lot of bad moments in the Attitude Era as well. But people choose to remember the good things. They fail to realize what they have in front of them, only to realize what they had in the past. So, people were like, oh, the CM Punk John Cena match was the best match of 2011. But you go back to that pay-per-view, the entire card was stacked that night. There was amazing pay-per-view the whole night through. It wasn't just that match. And so people highlight the positives, they crap on the negatives, and they forget about all the other details. A lot of stuff nowadays is so knee-jerk reaction because it has to be trending or it has to be, relevant. And so everything is a knee-jerk reaction. Everyone responds right now. How do you feel right this instant? Oh, I dislike this. The whole thing sucks. It was epic fail. It was epic win. Everything is epic. It's not. You can have a good, solid opening, and it doesn't have to be a 5-star match. It's there to get you pumped up for the night ahead. it's just one of those things. People, like I said, they go based on how they feel right that instant. If it's not what they like, they just want to choose to crap on it. If you're in the crowd and you're not liking the match, like I said on Facebook, go to the concession stand, buy you a drink, go to the bathroom, buy a t-shirt, do something. Just don't make it seem like you're being an idiot. That's what they're doing. You're chanting JBL. Why? Why are you chanting JBL?
Because he's not even good at commentary, guys.
And then you chant Michael Cole. But why? Why are they doing this? There's no point to it. It's
also not good at commentary.
There's no point. It's just that I guess they'll say it, and then everyone's like, "Oh, that's hilarious!" So I'm going to join in
because the crowd is so cool and rebellious. Mm-hmm. That's why. So it's like, hey, I would rather chant for these announcers than show any respect for what's going on in the ring. And I don't want to come off like we're saying like fans do not have a right to like express themselves, or fans do not have a right to say they don't like something. Yeah, but they do it in the worst fucking possible way imaginable. Like and basically,
like I said, it's either epic win or epic fail. We live in a day where everything has to be categorized as ultra extreme awesome or completely terrible worst thing ever. There's no middle ground anymore. And just people have lost so much common sense now.
It seems like there's a lot of places like the next Raw or like wherever they go, there seems like it's more and more people starting to chant the stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where people like they think this is how a crowd is supposed to behave. Mm-hmm. It's not. And there's a lot of merit to what Daniel's saying about like no one takes the time to digest anything. No one takes the time to think about what happened. It's just like, oh, it was awesome or it sucked.
Yeah. It's like the Orton Cena match from Royal Rumble. Fans were crapping on it just because it was something they didn't want to see. They weren't crapping on it because it was a bad match. It was a great match. Well, it was a good match. It wasn't, amazing.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Serviceable.
But it was the fact that the fans didn't originally want to see it, so they're just like, oh, screw this. We're not interested in that. If you're like that, leave. Leave, go, and come back later. Walk around. Turn your back to them. Be quiet. Don't give a reaction. Don't do anything. If you don't want to chant for Cena, don't chant Cena sucks. Chant for the other guy. It's just, I don't know.
Which, speaking of, didn't we get some let's go Cena, Cesaro chants? Like, was I misinterpreting those?
I'd have to go back and re-listen to that.
Yeah, me too.
I'd like to listen to that, but I did hear a lot of "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" in the beginning.
Yeah, I did, but I felt like it sort of trailed off and morphed into Cesaro on the other side.
He's been picking up steam.
All he's got to do is grab their fucking legs and they lose their mind. Yeah. He didn't even have to hit it. He teases it at least twice a match.
They were saying that Cesaro got a standing ovation in the locker room whenever he went backstage, and
hell of a match.
And even Vince McMahon walked up to him and said, "I was wrong about you a year ago. I didn't think anything was going to happen with you." So he has found a way to connect with the crowd, and he's putting on damn fine matches.
The crowd, and he's like an amazing wrestler too.
Mm-hmm. But it's just one of those things. Like, people like to support the people that they want to support. There are fans to this day who are saying Zack Ryder for heavyweight champion, and that's fine and dandy. But you have to think logically. It's not going to happen. There are just some guys. There is one guy who can hold the championship. One guy out of the tens of thousands of professional wrestlers who want that spot. You've got, say, 40 people in that company. So to be the top guy is so rare.
Well, especially now because both titles are.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just
You've got the titles, but I'm the face of the company.
I feel like I said earlier, there's a major lack of common sense in people these days. I feel that while technology is great and everything, it has given them the feeling that they should voice their opinion regardless of what it is. There's a lot less sensitivity these days. I don't know. I don't like where it's going right now. But anyways, we do appreciate the question. Next question coming to us from Victor.
Victor.
Oh, he gets all into that one.
Victor.
There you go. Victor. Saying, my friends and I were discussing divas a while ago.
Victor.
And I can't remember if you talked about this. So I thought I'd ask you for your thoughts. Most of them said they felt like the divas were more important parts of the show during the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression eras, when they were viewed more as sex objects rather than wrestlers. While I agree, I don't like that. I do because because wrestling is about storytelling and talent, and while the divas are good to look at, that shouldn't be the only reason they get recognized. What about you guys?
I mean, that's my stance. I will just go look at porn if I wanted to see
Yeah.
women as sex objects.
I truly like
there are more naked women for even more accessible on the internet.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I truly like
And much more naked.
Much more
a
naked.
diva or a woman who can really wrestle too. I mean, if they look good, that's still awesome too. But like Doug said, the porn thing.
Yeah, and my thing for it is
I think he's right though. I mean, they did feel like more of a part of the show as sex objects than they do now.
they're trying to be edgy,
Right.
and they're trying to sell sex. Which they did a great job of doing. They had they incorporated themselves with Playboy magazine. They had a few girls on there. Which is fine. That's what they were doing. But you also, if you're going to have a women's wrestling division, you need to have women who can wrestle. You don't have to have all knockout, 10 out of 10s. You can have some, more muscular women going out there who can
be divas.
Well, they can if they sign a contract. Anywho, but they can, you can say, yeah, these are our models, and yeah, these are our arm candies, but these are the women who are gonna, put on the show for you in the ring.
This is my sexy bitch.
These girls are gonna look good outside the ring and help, their talents, better as a manager or something like that, or whatever. But if you're gonna have a women's wrestling division, you got to have women wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yep.
I agree with what you said. I agree with what Victor said.
Okay. So thank you for the question. Next question coming to us from 6-Star Criminal, saying, first of all, thanks for answering my question. No problem.
No problem.
You've proved a lot of points about TNA that I didn't see at first, but I still feel like the company can improve. I agree with the fact that they need to make their own stars. They need to make, like a John Cena or Triple H or something that to really put them on the map as a major competitor against the WWE. I would just like to point that there were a few audio issues in the beginning of the podcast, a little bit of skipping around here and there. But other than the minor thing, the podcast was great as always. I was wondering if you guys would ever consider doing a live Q&A type of thing. I think it could be an interesting experiment to do something like that. Like I said, great podcast. Congrats on the engagements. And keep up the fantastic work.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for commenting. And yeah, there were a couple audio issues. I think it was the transfer from us sending the MP3 to Ben. It took longer than expected, and I was curious as to why it was. Yeah, just blame Ben.
I noticed it too.
Yeah, it skipped a few seconds, which is weird. But hopefully,
skip more than a few on my end. I actually had to stop listening to it.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot to ask you if it was doing that for y'all too, or what.
Yeah, it was doing it on
Yeah,
YouTube, where it would just skip a couple words here and there and keep going. But hopefully this week the issue has been resolved. But
Sorry about that.
As far as doing a live Q&A type of thing,
We talked about doing a possibility of doing a live show or something.
Well,
like
yeah.
The thing about it is, we don't use Skype. We record in a real studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real actual business.
Yeah.
And we can't just be giving the phone number out to people. So
Yeah.
that kind of, I mean, we work with that kind of stuff on our guests, but we can't just be like, here's the phone number, call, if you want.
You call during the regular business hours of the other. They're during the radio station and they get it. Like, hey, is this WNS podcast? Like,
no, this is a radio station, buddy. I mean, something that we could possibly do. We could try doing like a Google Hangout on YouTube.
Come hang out with us.
We could try and set up a date where some of our fans just come
we're
on
building
and
a Google House for people
ask us questions or something like that. I think that would be interesting to try at least once. Listen, hey, you called them fans earlier.
You did say
in the show.
Did I?
You did.
You should have pointed out then, so I could have corrected myself.
I laughed into my head.
What did I say?
I don't remember. You said fans.
I hate that I said that.
I don't.
I think it sounds. Come, someone give me the hand slap because I feel like it. If you hit me, okay. I thought you were gonna hit me really hard. I was gonna punch you in the fucking face. I think it sounds pretentious. I'm sorry. I hate. If I said fans at any point, I apologize.
So what is Lowson?
It's a listener.
The man.
Top listener.
Thomas Lowson is the man. Okay, he drops it low.
Yeah.
He's a low dropper.
He's a low dropper.
he's
the man.
He's a statistician and a fact checker.
Oh my gosh, he knows all the status, the stats.
Bound for Uli winner.
He's the
boy.
He's a regular listener.
He's our boy.
He's a good guy.
He's a fan.
He's a listener.
I wish to meet him one day.
Fan sounds fan. When you call people your fan, it makes you seem like you think you're hot shit.
I am hot shit.
I don't say fans, but I do Google myself.
This guy Googles himself.
Fuckers. You guys think you're all that.
He likes to Google himself on
and
his
a bag of
free
chips.
time.
I eat a bag of chips.
So, but yeah. As far as live Q&A, I mean, we could easily set something up in the WNS chat room on their main page, or like I said, we could try to do a Google Hangout or something like that. So.
Come hang out with us.
Come hang out with us. It'd be good stuff.
Sit on the Google couch.
But thanks for the question. Next question coming to us from 8 Luke S saying, I don't follow TNA. Who are the Wolves?
Well, most notably, they're known for their Ring of Honor run. I say most notably. They've done other things, obviously, but they were both Ring of Honor world champions who feuded with each other over the belts, as well as tag team partners who were tag champs together. So most notably, they're from Ring of Honor. Dave Richards, Eddie Edwards, obviously. ROH world champs and tag champs together.
They're pretty good.
Pretty good.
So clearly, obviously, they've done other stuff, but that's mostly what they're known for.
There you go. Good stuff. Final question coming to us from Junior Rocks 2012. Saying, I really think that Betty White hosting Raw was pointless, except to have the people watch her show. Also, I wanted to know 2 things. When do you record the podcast, and how do you advertise your podcast? Because I'd like to make one on YouTube.
We usually record, schedule permitting, Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights. Sometimes
mostly,
Wednesday.
okay, we try on our main schedule is Tuesday. Sometimes something comes up, we do it Wednesday.
Yeah.
We never done it on Thursday, I don't think.
We have once because I was like really sick. I think it was when I had like bronchitis or something like that.
Yeah.
So better than nothing, I guess. But yeah, we record it Tuesday nights once the studio becomes available to us.
Also, we're promoted through the website, Wrestling News Source.
Yeah.
We've also promoted ourselves through, we had cards and stuff and flyers that the places that we went, we promote ourselves that way.
Yeah. Make a few business cards and flyers, hand them out to people at local wrestling shows. Get to know some of those guys. As far as advertising, I'd recommend that. But honestly, for YouTube, you can do your own thing. If you have a webcam and a microphone, or even just a microphone and a picture, and you can make your own podcast for YouTube. Just upload it to your profile. Simple as that, I think. So there you go. So thanks for the questions. Submit your questions. Go to our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, our YouTube page, WNS Video. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. And you can also subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're also on Stitcher, Player.fm, and Beyond Pod. You can
and Player.fm.
Did I just say that? I said Player.fm.
Stitcher, Beyond Pod,
and Player.
Okay. Felt like there was one more.
just search Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Yeah.
And I've tried on what was it? Apple TV, the podcast. It's iTunes, Apple TV, and I just tried typing WNS. It doesn't work.
Yeah. You have
Wrestling
to search,
News Source.
You have to search Wrestling News Source.
Oh, why? What's the deal with Apple TV?
It's iTunes. It's
Right.
just iTunes out there, but
But
they
you
have-
can't search the same way. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you have to search Wrestling
News
Source.
Source Podcast, because we automatically say, hey, let's look us up, and I put WNS, WNS Podcast, nothing came up. You have to type in Wrestling News Source Podcast.
That's how it is for the
Stitcher
regular.
was the
though,
other
right?
one you missed. You did. Oh no, you did Stitcher. Never mind.
Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I keep thinking there was a fourth one?
There is. You said it, iTunes.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's the butthole.
There's the butthole.
Losing that grip.
I'm surprised no one even commented on Tyler's
No
almost shitting himself. Was that last week?
When you promote,
Was it last week or the week before?
It was last week.
It was like you put on our page, then the Wrestling News Source page. Like everyone
Tyler
comments
losing
on,
his grip.
Yeah, no one comments. Hey, Tyler really loses grip, you know? Or,
Tyler shit his pants.
Yeah, Tyler really shit
Almost.
his pants. Hey, man, they comment on everything else. On
Well, they
the little
comment
word-
3 seconds after the podcast is posted.
There's that one guy on YouTube who's just like waiting to hit the dislike button because like every time before he's like camped out like waiting. He's like,
Come on, you bitch.
he's like, you can tell because it's been like the show's been posted for like 12 minutes. He's already hit like dislike. He
Watch
knows
it.
it's the same motherfucker because he's
Watch
just like
this, like
waiting.
that guy that dissed you who left the podcast.
He subscribed to our channel just so he can dislike our video.
Right.
There's Wrestling News Source Podcast.
In 2K,
Dislike.
it's in 2K Master.
In 2K Master. Fuck these guys. I almost had a relationship with them, but they fucked me over like everybody else. Dislike, nah.
Nah, that's not who I think it is.
Who do you think it is?
I thought
guy
it was
that
either
hates him.
I thought it was the guy who either hated me or I thought it was Jordan. I thought it was one of those two guys. I was like one of those two guys. Fuck these guys. Just like who's the guy who hated me? They quit he like announced that
The
he
Hulk
quit the
guy,
show.
Hulk Alter Bridge.
Okay.
Jake Alter Hulk, whatever.
Anyway.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're also on Twitter.
It doesn't affect us. We just think it's comical.
We're at WNS Podcast on Twitter. The main site's at WN Source. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. Tyler's at Tyler_Aber.
I'm at like 90 followers, which is weird.
Why do I keep saying it?
I don't know. I guess.
Well, you're saying that's weird because it should be higher or lower?
I wasn't expecting it to even take off like that.
I've been saying it.
Yeah.
I didn't say do not follow Daniel at WNS_.
I mean, you can if you want. Whatever.
Do you not want me to put your personal one?
Nah, you can.
Because you post them on the Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, hey, follow our dudes.
No, I wasn't really expecting to get a number like higher than 20.
I think like whenever I was doing it, there was like 30 people who would follow me. Thoughts,
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, yeah, okay.
Also, check out our buddies at Nightmare Pro Wrestling John. He does great stuff.
I was talking to John. Remind me to tell you a story about John
Okay.
when we're done.
Does great stuff. Nightmare Pro Wrestling Comic, the Monday Night Draws. This one's not out yet, I don't think, but it should be out soon. Does great work. Also, our friend Eric at AsteroidBeltCompany.com. Konishny. So yeah, he does great work. Hobby belts. Check out our belts he made for us. So yeah, he does good stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So there you go. The podcast crew. I am Daniel Herron.
I'm A-Bear.
Google.
Google me.
Google Bear.
Google A-Bear. Google A-Bear. And see what
I'm
you get.
Doug.
We'll catch you all next week.